Let's see if we get the green light. We got the green light.
All
Okay.
right.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
I'm Tony, the tarot guy, Tony, the tapper, and AKA Tony Parker. And I have my good friend, Nancy and she's going to be our psychic of our featured psychic and reader tonight. And first, I'm going to turn it over to Nancy. Nancy, I hope you're enjoying our little party.
Yeah. And then
Awesome.
also I love to go by the name Nooch. So
Nooch,
it's
okay.
yeah,
All right, everybody. So it's Nooch. All
right.
right. And so, Nooch, just for everybody's, why don't you tell us a little about how you got started as a psychic and a reader and a healer? What intrigued you? Was there an early experience when you maybe were you a little girl? Did you have any psychic or paranormal experiences, or were your parents? Go on, take it away. Once upon a time in a log cabin, long, long time ago.
I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Uh,
Well, the best way I could answer that question is like my friend Dennis, he's passed, but he was very, very gay. And he said, I never came out of a closet because I never went in one. And that's exactly the way I feel as a psychic. I never went in a closet. I never stopped. Of course, like around 7 or 8, all of us kind of think, oh, wait, Santa Claus, wait, you're kind of like pulling the wool over my eyes. And maybe there aren't fairies and maybe there aren't cool things. So we all start shutting down to a certain degree.
mm-hmm.
But I never shut down completely because I always loved trees. And I mean, I always thought everything was talking to me. And I was also a
Awesome.
dancer. So I had music and art. And I think you can hide any magic in art,
Okay.
So the more artistic and creative you are, people are like, oh, that's cool. But if you tell them you're magical and it's like, yee, that's like something's up with you, it's like, so I think to me, my religion is creativity. The more creative I become, some people call that psychic, but I kind of feel like all of us are really majorly creative. We've just learned how to shut it down at certain places in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole goal is to get people more creatively empowered because that we need it. The world needs it desperately right now. It's just for our passion and beauty and thinking outside the box and really trusting what we sense. I mean, we need a lot more of that. So
And I mean, at what point did you sort of, shall we say, pick up cards or take a look at people's palms, or did you start reading books? When was the sort of transition into, shall we say, secret to actually, shall we say, getting your hands on
on the
runes or cards, or
yeah, well,
when did that
I
start?
actually, I'm almost 60.
Uh-huh.
So when I started, there was no internet and also very few books out there. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like seriously, there really wasn't that many books or even decks to pick from. So my mom gave me a deck when I was about 9, and she said she was going to take them if they worked. You'd have to understand my mom, but like they worked, like because they're images, and I just let the image, like whenever even she read me stories or something, I would always let the images talk to me, or what would they do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then so I trusted those. So I had a deck since I was 9, but
Really? I mean, cool, awesome.
yeah,
So your mother was sort of sort of ambivalent. At one moment she supported you, and then on the other
right.
hand, she. Now, was she a psychic or gifted as well, or?
She is, but she doesn't admit it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I really do think it runs through your family. I
Okay.
do. It doesn't have to, but
Right.
I think that I think all of us are intuitive, and most of us use it in the ambulance way, like, oh, something's wrong, like we go in, I call it the ER intuition.
Right.
But if you practice it every day, you start getting good at it, like playing a piano. You just start getting good at it,
Right.
and it's like a muscle that you practice.
I hear you. Yeah.
And my mom never practiced, but she's still good.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you remember what deck of cards was your first deck? Do you remember? Just
Oh yeah, I still have it. It's my Rider-Waite. It's an old Rider-Waite.
oh, really? Good for you. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Here's my old street deck, and
Yeah.
I still have the ratty old box. I think I bought it in 1970, maybe 71 or 70. I think
Yeah.
$8, right?
Yeah.
$8.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, there it's kind of grubby and dirty, and
Well,
it's funny. I collect a lot of cards, and I've got
right.
hundreds. Very expensive decks. I only ever take them out, do one reading, and I put it back in the box, and I always go back to this one. Right? Is that like
Yeah.
you? Have you
That,
tried other decks?
oh yeah, I can't collect decks. I mean, I have friends that have like 300 to 500 decks.
Right.
And I'm just like, I can't do that. I'm not that rich of a girl, for one thing, and second of all, I'm a real working reader. I mean, it's my life sustaining income. So I
Right.
only have like 8 to 12 decks
Right.
that I have my clients pick which deck they want to use. So
Okay.
my decks have to work. I can't just have them because they're beautiful.
Right.
Yet.
I hear you.
That's my goal. Is
Mhm.
I'd be interested with everybody here, though. I mean, can you ask as a
You
group?
can. This is completely interactive. Everybody's now. Some of you guys, some of you may know how to make the button, click the button that raises your hand. But otherwise, just wave and we'll call on you, okay? If you want to
Yeah.
say something. There is a
Let me
funny little button that has a little blue hand goes up, or just wave if you want to say something.
Okay, cool.
Good. So go ahead.
I'm just wondering if there are other readers here, or is it are mostly are
Is there a psychic in the house? Is there a
there's one
psychic?
on her.
Any readers? Any other psychics or read? Just wave your hand. We've got Gabrielle, and then we've
Cool.
got Fred.
Okay,
Gary,
cool.
we can't see you. Can you turn on your camera? Are there any other psychics to read or anybody else? We got, like I said, we got Gabrielle, we got Fred. Anybody else?
Fred, I know Fred.
You know Fred. Fred, one of you.
Yeah.
Christina, are you a reader or psychic as well?
Learning about it somewhat.
Good. Awesome.
Excellent. So
Okay.
if you guys have any questions for me, I mean, what?
Alexander, are you a bit of a psychic or a reader too?
Some people say I am. I get messages through my artwork.
Oh, that's good. That works.
Yeah.
That works for me. Awesome. Good for you. Gary, we can't see you or hear you. Your name is very familiar.
I know. That's what I thought too.
I know him from somewhere. Let me just see if I can tweak his gizmo. Sometimes I can get him talking from my side, but usually if I can, hello, Gary, you there? Earth calling Gary?
There he is.
Okay.
There he is.
Yep.
Gary, are you a reader or a psychic? Your name's familiar. Where do I know you, Gary?
Probably from Facebook. I've done some of your other. I also go by the name Gersh.
Oh, okay, great. Are you a psychic reader, healer, practitioner as well?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. So you're preaching to the choir, Nooch.
Good. I love it. Well, not everyone, but still, it's
that's
like
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
So if because I really feel like, a lot of people. I don't know. I don't feel like you have to be the seventh son of the seventh son and you're chosen to be this. It's like, no, that you can kind of really just pick up a deck of cards and just really trust the images and see where they want to bring you and trust your sense of yourself.
Mhm.
But I also think you kind of need to know what source you're working with. What is that source? Is it God? Is it goddess? Is it DNA? Is it love? Is it creativity? Like, what is the source that you work with? Because that's the mothership.
Mm-hmm.
And you need that. When you're reading for other people, you need to get back to your mothership sometimes.
Right. All of the above, at least for me.
Yeah.
I just say yes, right?
Yes,
but that's cool. That's great. So you started off with the good old Rider deck, which is a Golden Dawn deck. Did you ever use, say, like the Marseille deck or the Bad Boy deck, the the Thoth deck?
Thoth deck. You know, the Toth, I love the court cards in the Toth deck are so amazing in terms of the way they nab the energy
Right.
of the court people, but there's something about the colors of the Toth that I can't say that. My friend Dan turned me on to some Toth decks that are really different shades. You know, like they're just like the Rider Waite. It's like which print job did you get and what edition?
Hmm.
But I love a whole span of cards, but I don't actually use the Marseille to read yet.
Okay.
I'm playing the Marseille on my own. You like
Uh-huh.
kind of experimenting with it like an electrical grid.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. Any other decks that you use currently, or
Yeah,
if you want to show? Why don't you
I
show
love
off some of your cards? Come on, let's
I
see.
only
Show and
bought one
tell.
with it. I only have one here and it's
That's
my
okay.
yeah, it's my cat Black because
Uh-huh.
it's my standard, you know, like go to. So I thought I've been reading today and I'm just a little bit tired, so I just needed a good horse to ride on
Okay.
tonight, you know, in case any of you guys have weird questions. I was like, okay, I need a good horse to ride on. So because some of my cards, like the Marielle deck, is really beautiful, but it's a kind of wild. It's like
Right.
no, it goes all over, and I love the New Star by Erica McGinnis, but it's not in print anymore. But it's really beautiful. So I have some favorites. I have the Handle deck, but I don't read that for other people. It's like my deck.
Hmm.
And then Tarot of the Crone. I don't read that for other people. I like just use it for me. So
Right.
there's certain deck. I do see them kind of as horses. It's like, what ride do you want to go on? Do you want to go on by yourself? Do you want to
Mhm.
lead the group? You know, like, and I always go back to the Rider Waite as just it's the piano to me of the orchestra. It's the piano. Like if you can read Rider Waite, I think you can read pretty much a huge style of cards. Not the Marseille though as
Right.
much.
Well, again, it's the basic modern Golden Dawn, modern 1900
Right.
modern, but still, it's still the basic Golden Dawn deck. It has everything it's supposed to have. I do find the page a little kind of English. That I wish the page was a princess, but the Brits. Sorry.
Right.
Uh, but
You know,
anyway, no, it's a good basic deck, great deck to learn, and even when you're
yeah,
more experienced, it's a great working deck. But you're right, there's lots of whatever deck speaks to you,
that's right.
and some people, as you say, like you, it's the day or the client, how you feel and how the client
Right.
resonates or you resonate, etc.
Yeah.
So you started off reading, giving. Now, were you a face to pre-internet and telephone? Were you doing like face-to-face readings at psychic fairs, or where were you
Ugh.
giving your readings, or where were you
Oh,
practicing?
I had no discretion at all when I would go to bars. Like, I mean, when I knew it would work, I just went, what? You know, so I just like would just whoever I would do whatever, like really bad boundaries. It's like, oh, I would not suggest that, by the way, for new readers. It's like, no, really, like you really want to start right away with very clean boundaries, which is, I'm doing this in a service of love. I'm learning. So, I don't want to manipulate you and I don't want you depleting me, so how do we do that?
Mm-hmm.
But I did what I did and ran into some problems because of that.
Well, I was just going to say, if any of you live in the Bible Belt, or if you're
Yeah.
living in an area where there's some Christians, I hate to do this, but there are certain religious groups and organizations that think they have a right to enforce their religious freedom on everybody else by taking away yours. And in certain religions, tarot card reading is supposedly the devil.
Right.
And which is no more or less true than anything else. But frankly, that's and you have to be careful because some of these people can be quite cruel, violent, dangerous, lynch mob. Frankly, you got to be careful. You
Yeah,
really.
I was. Yeah. that I think it's more mainstream. I mean, I think we're seeing it on TV more. We're seeing it in movies. So usually when I tell people I'm a reader,
Yeah.
they're like all over that. Like really, they're like,
Well, the most, but I'll tell you, I have friends, and some of the people who come on tonight or come on, some like they're in like little towns in the Bible Belt or in
right,
the
right.
South, and trust me, you got to be careful.
That's yeah,
You have to be careful. You have to be careful who
yeah,
you don't have to be paranoid, but if you live in Los Angeles or New York or Boston or a big city in the South, Atlanta,
right.
Louisville, etc., you're okay. But some of these little hamlets, just be careful. You don't want to
Yeah,
be making enemies. I'm just telling anybody who's new,
that's right.
you gotta check your area out a little
I have
bit.
I have a great story for that.
Go
Just a
ahead, dear,
great story.
please.
So I was doing this party, a young reader. So I'm like, I get to do this. And I'm just like, and of course, everyone else is in love with it, right?
Right.
But I went to this party and I was downstairs reading for a woman at the party who
Okay.
was kind of a bullied wife. I
Uh-oh.
could tell, you could tell she was shy and everything anyhow. But when I started reading, it was like, wow, she really needs to step up to the plate. She needs to like really hold her ground, right?
Mhm.
Earlier, the hostess had told me that her son is really anti-tarot, but he's going to be out, so we don't have to worry about that. And I thought, gee, thanks for that. Like, why are we having it at your house if your own son doesn't like this? I mean, that's actually disrespectful to him, but I just thought, oh, well, I'll let it go. So I did this. I was in the middle of this reading, and this woman really needs to learn how to stand up for herself. And all of a sudden, I hear a door slam upstairs. I went, uh-oh, I think the sun is home, and I could just feel it. Like, I mean, but you wouldn't have even had to have been psychic to feel that, energy coming into the house. And I just went, and I just put the cards down calmly, and I just looked at her and I said, I think you're about to see an example of somebody that's really standing up to the plate and holding their boundaries, and he came running down the stairs and he like got in my face and started yelling at me, and I was just like, honey, if you, and I wasn't even old. I wasn't old then. I was younger. And I just said, honey, you need to talk to your mother because she invited me, and he started yelling in the name of Jesus. And that's where I draw the line, because I love Jesus. I don't like his family, but I love him, I went, oh no, you ain't going to throw that one at me because I like him. So I just said, no, you must be talking about his evil twin Jesus H Christ, because the Jesus I know, you treat people under your house well.
Right.
Like if they're invited in your house, you have to be respectful.
Right.
And so I don't know. He didn't know what to do with that, and he sputtered, and because I wasn't going to get upset, even though I was shaking inside.
Mm-hmm.
And he left, and the wife looked at me and she goes, do I have to do that with my husband? And I said, it would help. Like you need a, like, yeah. It's all, to me, it's all about love or fear. It's like, are you acting out of love, or are you acting out of fear? And what does that look like? And I've certainly made mistakes, but when I told you I kind of got into trouble, I usually didn't get into trouble with people.
Right.
I got into trouble with not being grounded and certain things out there in the mist, kind of realizing, hey.
Now that's an interesting point to bring up as well.
Yeah.
Clearings and groundings and perhaps preparation.
Right.
The Golden Dawn, the classic Golden Dawn thing was the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, sometimes a prayer, sometimes Ho'oponopono. Everybody has a little clearing, or, do you smudge your cards ever, or clear your cards?
Maybe on solstices or equinoxes,
right.
Like I'll clean everything out, all my
right.
tools and things like in the house,
Mm-hmm.
in my house. But I would, that's the mothership I was talking about, though, is I would never do this work now without hooking up to my mothership,
Mm-hmm.
And when I was younger, I didn't even know there, I just assumed mothership was there. And it's like, really? There's no such thing as a casual reading. Like, as you well know, I mean, you could walk in and you're thinking, oh, well, we're just going to talk about her boyfriend or something. And it just goes, whoosh, you know, like you have to be ready.
Every once in a while, you got to plug the deck back into the charger. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, or you into the charger.
Or you
like,
you plug into the charger. Absolutely,
yeah,
I agree.
right.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And so basically, initially, it was as you said, weddings, births, bar mitzvahs, graduations, parties, any place that would let you read, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Anybody,
not so much parties. I mean, just people single.
okay, private readings, and
And
okay,
then I got this. I was in central Pennsylvania, and I was
okay,
a dancer at the time, and
okay,
so I got this really strong message from a tree that said, "You must go to Minnesota. That is where your teacher is."
okay,
So I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do that." You know, but I was still in love with dance too, so I wasn't really thinking of just solely tarot.
okay.
But I moved to Minnesota, and every class I took with some of the people here, and we had some really fine people here. Like, and we had a really nice community of readers. But when it came to teaching, it was kind of their way or the highway. You know, like this is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, no, that's not how I don't want to rote memory. I don't want to learn every card. That's not how they talk to me. I'm not, you know.
Mhm.
So I just started teaching at the U of M or Open U. We had
Okay.
it was pre-learning annex, and it was real funky and cool then. And I just started teaching to experiment, to teach myself. I was only 2 steps ahead of any student I had. You know, but we had a really good time. So,
Okay.
you know, and I told him that too. It's like, guys, we're experimenting and I'm just like the mad scientist, but you're my guinea pigs, you know, and they're
Okay.
like, cool. You know, so I learned a lot by just exploring with other people what works, what doesn't work. Like I did a visualization once and we did it about the chariot.
So this was like path work then.
Yeah, well, or class. I mean, like workshops.
Okay, but were you going through the tree of life, or were you going through
No,
the major arcana? This was just taking different cards and then visualizing them.
yeah,
Okay.
whatever I felt like that night.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm an improver from kind of the get go, but we were doing a visualization about the chariot, and I had like a class of 30 people at that point, you know, and everybody,
Wow,
you know, this.
good for you.
Oh yeah, I love teaching.
Okay.
I love teaching because I love when people get that look in their eyes like, going, I get it, you know, and there's nothing that's a better high than anything that happens when I do a reading for someone, you know, is that I know now they can do it for themselves, which is important. But anyhow, this one woman came up to me and she said, you know, for the chariot, I got Amelia Earhart. And I just went, oh my God, Amelia Earhart's perfect for the chariot, you know. And why is it that all the chariots are male?
They don't have to be.
First.
They don't have to
Well,
be.
they don't have to be, but in most decks,
Well,
the
true.
gender is really pretty prescribed.
It's sad because when you think the artist in the Rider-Waite deck was Pamela Coleman Smith, you know,
right.
A woman artist, okay. But of course, you know, it was the early 1900s. It was 1901 or 1902, and yeah, it was still Victorian England, right, or Edwardian in England. Yeah.
Yeah, she was an American. She was a poor American theater girl.
Right.
Hey, I got a great story about her. The Queen of Wands. So she was doing this artwork, and she was living in a big house with a lot of actresses and stuff, and so she would just use them as her models sometimes.
Right.
So the Queen of Wands, for instance, was her best friend. Well, the Queen of Wands always had this black cat that did wherever that actress went, the cat went. So the cat sat next to her, and of course she painted the cat in. Well, ever since then, the Queen of Wands always has a black cat, you know, and it's kind of like, guys, that doesn't go back to the Renaissance. That goes back to Pamela's best friend, you know, like, it's like, These things don't have to be pre-Egyptian, to have
Meaning, exactly.
meaning,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Alexander, maybe that's something you may want to consider, designing a deck of tarot cards. How would that go for you? Maybe that's a project you ought to consider. Anyway, go ahead. I'm listening. Now, another question I want to ask you, I just want to tell everybody, if you look at my information that I sent you, I've included all of Nooch's websites, YouTube channel. She has a book as well. So I've got the information on her book. And of course, Nooch, I want you to mention everything that I mentioned, plug it a little bit. She has a YouTube channel, which is some great YouTubes on tarot, etc. Also, she's got a great book. Now, do you actually coach or teach online as well?
Well, not an online course, but
Okay.
definitely Skype and phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Because this is the age of everybody does everything online, of course.
I know. Yeah, really. And
Right.
I also started working with some marketing companies, which is really fun because it's all imagery. So I'm kind of trying to bring it beyond tarot, beyond that kind of esoteric realm, which I absolutely love and thrive in, but that kind of as a creative brainstorming. Again, it's images, and images just bust open new stories.
Right. Okay. Well, now let's bring you up to today. What's your main thrust today? I mean, you're a professional journey woman reader and psychic and practitioner. Uh, how do you how are you practicing today? Is it via phone and the internet, face to face, or a bit of everything, or what?
Yeah, it's pretty much half and half.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get it, I wanted to do more long distance because I love Minneapolis and St. Paul, but I don't want to be an old woman in a metro area. I want to live where there's stars.
Okay.
So to do that, I'm going to have to start shifting more people long distance. That is if we still if there's still a planet in 20 years. It's just like every once in a while the back of my head goes, and then the apocalypse, so I just have to keep that in mind, because we don't know. These next 20 years is rock and roll. It's rock and roll. We don't know what's going to be happening here. Mm-hmm. So all of us, I just think, have to be on our creative game. And you also have to duck and dodge really good. Okay. That will help.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, you've been, I think you've had a wonderful little presentation, and I just wanted to know if anybody, either any of the readers or psychics, have any questions for Nooch. And anybody have a question they'd like to ask Nooch about reading or past experiences, anything like that? Anybody have a question? Okay, we got somebody else just walked in. That's nice. Anybody else? Hi, Ileana.
Hey.
Welcome. Anybody got a question for Nooch? Okay, so let's go ahead.
They all want a little reading, I can tell.
Well, that's my next question. All right, so don't all stampede, don't all run, but nicely, play nice with the other children.
I had an idea.
Go ahead, Nooch.
Because we are if you're in North America, this is the bottom of the wheel. The wheel's not even moving now. It's like at the bottom, it's like, so it's the darkest time of the year. It's just like, ugh. And this is a perfect time to get the seed that you want for 2018.
Right.
This is the best time to do it, because then when the solstice comes, you can just get your seed and just go, like the new light can bless it, and then that's what will grow. So I thought if you guys wanted, and you don't have to go there, but I could pull what might help clarify what the seed is for you for 2018. Because
well, there you go. I think that's
we're at this great time.
I'm just thinking we've got I know it's your energy level, but I'm scheduled till the top of the hour, so whatever you can handle. So who wants to go first? Wave your hand if you'd like Nooch to give you a little 2018 nudge.
Why don't we just go around? you know, and if you don't want it, you can just go pass, you know. So we'll just. How about if I start with Christina?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Christina, you're up.
Now, Christina,
Okay.
I want you just to take a minute and close your eyes, and I just want you to kind of be in this like beautiful let go of all light, pressure, responsibilities, things you need to do. Just go in this really beautiful place where it's dark, it's wonderful, it's juicy, it's where seeds grow in that black soil, that fertile soil. So go there. Okay, and so when I close my eyes, I hope you guys don't mind if I do this. When I close my eyes, I just got this image of Christina, and there's a lot of water around her, and she's not sure if she can swim. And I'm like, oh, hell yes, you can swim. You're good at this, Christina. You can, and there's also life jackets. Like, you don't have to do this by yourself. Like, if you ever feel like you're emotionally getting too much or the visions are too much, you just slow everything down and go, guys, this is not a bond. You know, I need to slow this down. I need to integrate this. So you can slow down even your intuitive development, not to a stop, but to a place where you feel like you can manage it. So you don't have to jump in really deep water and just hope to God that you swim, you know, but that's an image I got. So let me go with a card then, which I got, the King of Swords.
Okay.
And he's beautiful. I kind of tend to see, lately I've been seeing the kings as a way of making decisions and commitments. So they're saying your commitment to power in 2018, you holding your power. And you don't have to express yourself if you don't want to. Kings don't have to do shit. They can just sit there and just go, if I feel like it, I will, you know. So it's just, but they are responsible for the people. So you need to pay attention to how your love is going everywhere. But when it comes to how you want to express it or give it to people, you get to determine that. You know what I mean? All right. Is that okay, Christina? Is that? She's looking at me like, what was that? Don't go first the next time.
Well, I got a lot out of it, Newt,
Yeah.
so I'm happy with it. That's my reading. Sorry, Christina. Okay. Well, thank you for awesome, Nancy. And let's move to next. Who do you want
How
to do?
about
Claudia?
Claudia? Would you like one, Claudia?
Sure.
Okay. So just take a minute to just close your eyes and just go, even though we're in public, we're on Facebook, we're with other people, blah, 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 blah. I just want you to focus on you, and I'll hold a circle around us. So you just think about you and what you've been thinking, feeling, not feeling. You just be where you are. And so I didn't really get an image with Claudia, so nothing jumped at me right away. I call those the initial image. Sometimes I get initial images, sometimes I don't. So in other words, then I can trust the card will say what it needs, you know, like the card will hold all the energy. And I got Judgment. Now these are really pretty Catholic figures, you know, like that's Jesus rising from the dead. So I would say your 2018 is really integration, Claudia. It's really like what you thought was dead, not really, because love never dies. And what you're holding on to, I feel like you're going to easily, do I need to hold on to that? So to me, it's almost integration without working real hard. You know, like you could just like, no, I can just trust myself here and just, I also think there's going to be lots of people from your past that you need to kind of reconnect with. You don't have to, but it brings back a piece of you that you might have thrown away. So integration. So Claudia, power, or Christina, power. Claudia, integration. Okay. So now let's go to Gabriel. Yeah, Gabrielle. Yes. All right. So right away, I got like 3 really huge, like queens and witches and stuff. And I'm like, okay, guys, take a number. So it's like, there's a lot of you here. And that could be ancestors, like that could be guides, that could be, you know, whatever that is, I got to stay open for it. But okay, so your three parts, those three magnificent aspects of you said, oh, okay. And so they started dancing together, like the body, mind, like the Graces, that really beautiful classical painting. Yeah, they started dancing with each other. I went, thank you, that works. So I got the Queen of Cups.
All right. Yes.
Yeah, and look she's writing a lot. I think this particular queen loves to write. So I do think that your expression is very important in 2018, but really consider journaling, writing, and I feel like the writer is an indirect teacher. They teach a lot of people because you don't know who's going to read your writing. Also, because of those three dancing, the body, mind, and spirit, maybe they dance because when you write, all parts of you are involved. Like
go.
that's how you flow that out pretty good. I kind of see that lately. I changed my mind, not changed my mind. I play with different things. And to me, the queen is the vision of the people. She knows what the people need. So she goes to bed with the king at night, whispers in his ear, hey, bud, this is what you need to decide. And this is what they need. Do it. And then he wakes up and goes, oh, that's what I need to do for the people. So the queen is the vision and the king is the decision.
There you go.
All right, Mr. Fred.
Awesome. Just a quick question. Alexander, I noticed you figured out how to raise your hand. That's awesome. But can you wait till your turn, or is there an emergency?
No, I just clicked it.
Okay, good. Well, congratulations that you figured out how to raise your hand. Good for you. What key is it? Do you remember?
Key is in the chat. You click on chat.
Chat.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Thank you for, like I said, I haven't been able to figure out how to do it. So congratulations. Okay, go ahead with Fred. Go ahead, dear.
All right, Fred.
Yay, Fred.
I met Fred when we would go to
Bats.
Thalassa Teresa had this amazing San Francisco tarot conference party.
Mm-hmm.
We were there to learn, but actually we were there to drink and be with each other. So Fred comes from that lineage. All right, Freddie, I'm just going to go in for a minute. So I just okay, the image I get from you, Fred, is that there's like you're catching up with yourself. Like there's 7 of you behind you and they're all trying to get to you in time. Like, oh my God, she's reading for us. Get together. So I would say a lot of 2018 is it might just be catch up. It might be, you know what? I need to throw shit out of my closet and I need to, I just need to catch up with myself because you've almost been 2 steps ahead of yourself for about 3 years now. So it's not integration. It's like, I almost feel like you just like, if this is what like it feels like, wah, 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 so you have to kind of stay here without getting bored. That's going to be fun. That'll be a challenge.
Yeah.
Because usually when we stand still, we get restless, so it's like, okay, wait, how can I just be cool with a standstill here? And then I got the 2 of Swords. So they're kind of saying, no, really, seriously, we mean sit still.
Yeah, good luck. I wish that was the case.
Well,
it'll be interesting. Let me just say that.
Yeah, and I also kind of tend to 2 of Swords. I've almost got to tell you is my favorite minor arcana card. I love the 2 of Swords because I really actually even think it's an initiation. I don't even think it's a big pause button. I feel like you're being, this weight or this place in your life right now is initiating you into something. So that something bigger is coming, but 2019, so 2018's like, I have to prepare.
Okay.
All right, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Excellent reading. Good. Next, we got Mary.
Mary.
How's your energy, Nude? You good?
Good.
Okay, good. Carry on. Go ahead.
I'm just hoping no one else joins us.
Well, I think Roy from Australia snuck in, but don't worry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. Okay, Miss Mare. And we were just talking about 2018. We were just playing around with that idea of 2018. So Mary and I go back. So. Yeah, now I'm seeing all the moons, but the moons are in like this beautiful circle, like not a spiral, like literally like a circle. All the full moons of 2018.
Okay.
And then I got, I love this, the 10 of coins. Mm-hmm. And look at that. It's just a beautiful community that knows how to work together. In fact, it's really interesting. I heard a theory about the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of coins is that in the Buddhist tradition, when you get enlightenment, you like end up going to the next village and become a shoemaker, and nobody knows who you are, but you know who you are. Mm-hmm. Well, this is our version of the shoemaker. Like when we get to the 10 of Pentacles, we're fulfilled. We've done the spiritual work. We're able to share it with others. But we're able to receive love easily. So it's kind of our shoemaker version, you know? So I would say 2018 is also, it's a circle, and I want to say circle of people as well, a circle of experiences, community.
Cool, thanks.
All right, Alexander.
Hi.
Hello, thank you for waiting. Let me just come in. I just like to shuffle them a little bit in between. Really, not because of the cards, but because of my head. Like, it's a good way for me to kind of like wipe the slate clean like a blackboard so that the impressions can come in. Boy, Alexander, you have some really adamant ancestors standing behind you. They're very adamant, and I'm kind of thinking, okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't trust them all. Like, I don't know if I would listen to all of them. So like, there's a new book out called Ancestor Medicine by Daniel Foor, Foor, and it's amazing because you can do journeys to the beloved ancestors. So not all your ancestors, because some of your ancestors really got off track, and any of us can point to a number of relatives that we go, ooh, yeah, they were far from enlightened. But you call your beloved ancestors, the ones that were healthy and solid. So your beloved ones want to take over some of your other ancestors who I think are bugging you.
Yeah.
And then I got the Tower. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, Alexander, don't you kick anyone's ass. Get the professionals to do that. You know, like, so I'd say the beloved ancestors, Jesus, Ganesh is a good one. You know, whenever in doubt, I go, Ganesh, you know, because he's an elephant that just is going to stomp on obstacles. So yeah, we need to know sometimes as two-leggers, we're really the amateurs. Like, we're really like, I need a professional here. So your 2018 is, you know, really what I want to say is duck. You know, like, just duck. You know, like, you don't have to go in there and save anybody. If something needs to fall apart, you're not responsible for that. You don't have to hold things together either. If it's not meant to stay together, it needs to fall apart. So I would almost say, just know where your power begins and ends. I hope that helps. I love Tower because Tower is when the crap is cleared, you know, and it's like the shit that makes you feel like you're not worth love, or you don't make enough money, or or you're afraid all the time. I'm telling you, when Tower comes in, it's like, okay, we're just going to wipe that out, you know, and it's not comfortable, but it's like you are never the same after that. So it's like, Alexander, this 2018 is going to be like one of the most magnificent years you've ever had, because you're finally just going to kind of go done with that.
Awesome. The good
Yes.
news is change. The bad news is change. But what's the L before Alexander? What's your first name?
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Look up Pamela Coleman Smith. Check out her biography and also look at her artwork.
I was just on it, and I am a painter, so
That's where I'm going with that.
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay, it might
Yeah.
inspire you. Okay,
people ask me tarot cards too. So
awesome. Okay,
thanks.
all right, go ahead. I'll shut my mouth now. I'll get out of there.
No, that's all right. All right, Mr. Gary. Gary, do you want one? You want a reading?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just going to focus in a little bit. So, Gary, just go ahead and go to your, just take the elevator all the way down to your heart. Just like hang there for a while. And then take the elevator all the way down to your belly. Okay. So now that was the real interesting story, because sometimes I'll give grounding exercises because then it helps me read the energy better, like something. And it's almost like, Gary, you have always, I know this sounds weird, but you've almost always been too tall in this life. Like too tall. And I'm thinking, first of all, bullshit. I mean, like your mom or dad were trained and they gave you that training, like, Gary, bring it down. Like, Gary, you're intimidating us, and it's like, well, I think our parents always do to us what they were taught. If they did it to us, it was done to them, so in some ways and it was done to them and it was done to them. So that's what I mean by the ancestors that got off track, because it starts way back here. But as spirits having a human experience, you can kind of stand up and go, you know what? That's not my storyline anymore. Interesting. Thank you. But I'm not going there anymore. So there's something about you being as magnificent and as big and as loud as you need to be, which is really important. And I got the 4 of coins. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. That looks a little better with the light. Now she's kind of sitting there, and some people think that she's hoarding. I don't think she's hoarding. I think she's calibrating. She's like, what am I going to do with my resources? I'm not actually really sure what I really want to do. So I think 2018 could be, wouldn't it be lovely if the theme could be, on one hand, shine without apology, and on the other, ambiguity. I get to not know. Like if somebody asked me how I'm doing, I could just look at them and go, I have no idea. Wouldn't that be refreshing? Instead of like, I have to figure this out. I also think you're on the precipice of something kind of serious and really amazing. So just make sure that you're as tall and as magnificent as you need to be for that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And then Ileana, God, what a beautiful name. Okay.
Ileana, do you want a reading? Unmute.
Or just shake your head yes if she.
Oh yeah, no, I figured.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because I already jumped in. Whoa, okay.
Shit, this connection is so bad.
Ileana, it's going to be, do you live in a city?
No, I live
in the woods?
Pretty much. Yeah, right now I'm in the woods.
Good. No, you need to be in the woods right now.
I've been in the woods for like 5 years. I'm so tired of it. But I hear you. I know what you mean.
I know you got some serious fairy energy that it'd be like, I think you would cause some problems in the city. You know, no, of course that would be fun. But I would also say, I don't know, this, you know, really take in as much nature as you can, because there's something about that kingdom that is really important for you. You're not ready. You're gonna make some big changes, and you're gonna really be influential with a lot of people. And I'm not saying stay a hermit.
I am a hermit right now.
I'm gonna pee my pants if I pick the hermit, by the way. You know, but
No, it's all right. I get it all the time.
and I didn't get the hermit. I got the King of Cups. Now some people call him the Fisher King. You know, so that's a way of making some new decisions and commitments to your vision, really knowing what you want to do with your vision. I don't feel like you're being punished. I think that you're being safely guarded from those that you don't need to be around right now. So just know what you want to do with your wicked wand when you're loose. Like, just, I would say 2018 for you is the last of sanctuary. So enjoy that. Really enjoy that.
I do.
Yeah. Because you'll miss it. You will.
Well, it's hard to believe.
I'm telling you, honey, 2 years from now when you're in the metro, it's like, holy shit, why didn't I listen to her? Okay. Or really take it in, but it's, yeah.
Oh, no, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and then we have, is that Roy? Roy, would you like a reading? And you could raise your hand if you do.
He's in Australia, so it might be some lag.
Oh, okay. There it goes.
He raised his hand. Okay.
Oh, there's a little bit of interference going on, so it's dropping out slightly. Yes, I would love a reading. Thanks, Nancy.
All right, cool. Yes, I will do that then. So, you know, my first impulse was to kind of keep away a lot of people or things or experiences on the right side of you. You're so open and loving, but that doesn't mean anyone can walk into your house whenever they want. Like, they still need to knock at the door. They don't just get to come in. Also, spiritually or psychically, I don't feel like you're as shrewd as some of the people in your life, and you don't have to be shrewd. You just have to have a locked door. Like they have to ring the doorbell. So you can't keep your heart open for anyone to come in whenever the fuck they want. Excuse my French. That's not, really keep strong boundaries and just kind of go, oh no, I love you. And wait, did you ring my doorbell? Okay, cool. You know, so just that boundary will be very helpful for you. And some of the people in your life will not like that. You know, when we get healthy, I got to tell you, the first thing that does is like piss off 3 people in our inner circle. So that's when you know you're getting healthy. Like when people are like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, I'm not letting you deplete me. You know, or I'm just holding my own here. So I'm not taking care of you. And I got the 7 of Swords. This is a very interesting tarot. This one, I got to say, is probably my least favorite minor arcana. But because he's stealing people's weapons, thinking that's how he's going to win the war. You know, and that's kind of an ineffective way of winning a war. Like, you really need to change the people's hearts, not take their shit. You know, like. So I would say, Roy, your seed for 2018 is boundaries without apology and without explanation. Don't tell anybody. You don't have to explain it. You just say, nope, that's not going to work for me. And when they say, why not? It's like, it's just not going to work for me. So you don't explain your feelings, because then it stays open for. I tell people that all the time. Don't tell people why you feel something. Just tell them what you feel.
I get it. My pup thinks there's someone at the door.
Oh, okay.
I had perfect timing, right? Perfect
I know. And the day
timing.
it just walked in, I go, Roy, what did I tell you, Roy?
Awesome. Very good. Okay, you
Oh my
got
God.
Lawrence and Andre have been patiently with their little hands raised.
Oh, Andrea, hi, bye.
Andrea,
She's a buddy of mine. Okay.
awesome.
Share screen.
Okay. So once again, and this is a kind of a common theme with Andrea, is David Bowie. Like I get Bowie with her a lot. And then there was a Facebook meme, I don't know if you saw it, Andrea, but it's like, could it be that David Bowie and Prince were the only ones that did the rapture and the rest of us?
I saw that.
It's like, we're in trouble. And I got the moon.
Oh.
So 2018 is a magical, I almost want to say lunar. Like really think lunar for 2018, not solar. Okay. So go more with moons. Go more with unconsciousness instead of strategy. It's more vision.
Okay.
I love this moon card. It's like one of the prettiest moon cards ever.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't it? I love that stag.
Yeah.
All right. And
Thank
then
you.
and then Shubi. All right.